Hey everybody, it's your girl Claudia Jordan. Now tonight we are taking the time to salute successful people who are giving back to the Black community. My first guests are Empire actress and activist Taronda Jones and her business partner Steve Gold. They're here to tell us about the Black Village Foundation and their plan to build Black wealth in Chicago. This is something that we need to talk about. I'm excited about this conversation. And later on the show, we're talking with three entrepreneurs who are giving their time, money, and support to the Black community. Okay, please welcome actress Taronda Jones and the owner of 160 Driving Academy, Steve Gold. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks, Claudia. Great to be here.
Yes, I'm glad to have you here. I love hot topics, but I love talking about the community and things that we can do to better ourselves as as people. And Steve and Taronda, we appreciate this. So how are things going in Chicago right now? I know Chicago gets beat up a lot, especially with the last administration. It was just like I was kind of getting sick of Chicago taking all these shots.
Yeah,
Y'all feel me on that?
I think Chicago just has its own narrative for anybody who's outside of Chicago. Chicago, we're doing good. We're pushing it right along, and of course, there's a lot of work that needs to be done, but we smooth.
And lots of pride with folks from Chicago as well. It just seems like you can just tell. It's just something special about you folks from Chicago. I don't know.
Oh,
Steve,
we real. We real, honey.
for sure, for sure. Steve, you got a little bit of that Chicago swag?
I got Chicago in my life. It's like one of the best cities in the country and going through a little bit of a bump here, but I wouldn't want Lori Lightfoot's job. That's got to be the worst job on the planet, trying to balance the world here on her shoulders. So she's coming through it great, and I think the city's doing great, and I think everything's opening up now, and people are excited, and the weather's getting warm. It's just been brutally cold here for a while. So I think Chicago's coming back now, and I think everyone's excited for the spring.
Yeah, because 40-degree weather is like summertime for us.
Yeah, right. Get off the shores.
Y'all winters do not play. I'm glad you said something positive about Lori Lightfoot. I feel like she's in almost, I won't say in an impossible position, but like I feel like it's a little unwarranted the dragging that people attempt to do with her. And I'm sure it's a huge undertaking, huge city, lots of problems, like most big cities. And I think her intent is in the right place, but y'all know more than I do. So I definitely want to get into more about Chicago. Now, Toronto, you're always busy with your roles on various series, such as Empire, where you did your thing, doing your thing. But now that the show is over, you focus your energy on the Black Village Foundation. I want to know what inspired you to launch this foundation.
So back in June, when the murder of George Floyd happened, and there was a lot of rioting and looting going on across the country, of course. And I remember all the rioting that was happening here in certain areas. And I remember a lot of stores not being restored, not just stores, but pharmacies, your local everything. They weren't quickly restored. And I still have people who live in certain areas who weren't getting the needs that they needed. And a friend of mine, her name is Saba Abor, we had a conversation on what can we do to make the neighborhoods better. And we just said, you know what, how about we come up with a pop-up food pantry? And the goal was to feed 50 families, and that turned to 500, and then 500 turned to 1,100. And we not only gave away groceries, but we gave away PPE, diapers, formula, women's sanitary needs, such as pads, tampons, and things like that. And when we saw how much of an impact it had, I said, you know what, let's do this every week. And that's what we did. And it got bigger and bigger and bigger. And a lot of people started coming on board. And that's what we've been doing since June.
I love it. I love to hear this. I really do. I'm proud of you for doing that. Steve,
Thank you.
Now your business 160 Driving Academy has partnered with Taronda's project. And I'm sure your family and friends are pretty impressed that you're working with Miss Taronda Jones and, very accomplished young lady. How did this collaboration come about? Like, how did this happen?
So our company is the largest commercial truck driving school in the United States. So we'll train about 20,000 people how to drive a truck. And then not only do that, but we get almost all of them into brand new jobs. So in the Chicagoland area, we've got 8 of these commercial driving schools. A number of them are on the west and south side of Chicago. So when Taronda contacted us and asked us if we want to partner with her on this program to try and create jobs for the community, it was really easy for us to say yes. So we'll train probably about 1,000 people in the west side and south side of Chicago anyway this year on how to get, into a truck, learn how to drive a truck in 4 weeks, and like make $50,000 after they do that and get into a new job. And so when Tarada called, she's like, hey, why don't we try and do something in the community? Could we create a scholarship for maybe 5 students? So you guys would sponsor, we can make it free for them. And we agreed to do that with her and sponsor these students. And we're giving away free scholarships, free training at the 160 Driving Academy for, 5 lucky citizens of the South and West Side of Chicago.
Very nice. Now, I want to know this. I'm sure when you're a successful business owner, you get hit up, you get asked for things, people ask you all the time, can you sponsor this? Can you help my softball team? Can you help me with that? I'm running for Miss, Illinois. Can you help me with this? What made you say yes to Taronda? I'm sure you get bombarded with these things all the time.
Yeah, we don't get the Miss Illinois question a lot, but we do get a lot of requests. But like this, look, we are really active in the community. We're very active, especially in the Southwest West Side of Chicago. The company was started in Illinois. I'm from Chicago. Our biggest number of schools are in Chicago. We train more people in Chicago. So Chicago's near and dear. So when Toronto came to us with a West Side and South Side program, like what can we do to give back to the community? It's just a natural fit. So, we're totally excited to do it. I think it's, what other way can people make so much money in such a short amount of time and learn a new vocation? And just given how hard, we talked a little bit earlier about Chicago, but, the pandemic, the lockdown, a lot of people lost jobs, unemployment lines, food lines, we see this every day, and we'll try and help everybody who walks in the door at one of our schools and get them employed and get them through this training. And we can do a lot of other ways of making it so there's no cost to the student. But when Toronto came forward, like we'll give away 5 scholarships, just made all the sense in the world.
It's such an important occupation as well, especially with the pandemic, food shortages, all kinds of things. You're helping to ship food and get, goods across this country that we need. So.
Yeah, only when like the pandemic hit and like the grocery store shelves were empty and did people like realize like the importance of the American truck driver. Like all of a sudden, hey, like, the diapers aren't getting on the shelves because the trucks aren't moving because we don't have drivers. And if you're not aware, there's like a massive shortage of truck drivers in the United States. And so it's a career that starts at $50,000. We got a lot of students who graduated us like 2 years ago making $100,000, like an insane amount of money driving trucks because there's just not enough drivers in the United States. So it's a quick way to really get on your feet and get going. But yeah, the people don't really appreciate the trucking industry. When I'm on the highway and trucks near me, you want to floor it and just get away from that truck. But there's 3 million truck drivers in the United States who are doing great things, moving our goods across the country every day.
It's unfortunate that it took the pandemic and all this going on for us to really stop taking these positions for granted and the hard work that they are putting in. And that actually shows, how important it is with what you're doing with Toronto and these scholarships, especially people that may not have a perfect record or find trouble employment in other areas. Like that career path is a great career path with great, flexible hours. I mean, there's a lot to it that, I think this is a great idea. Now, Toronto, this is your passion project, and you also released a video to promote this endeavor. Let's take a look.
Who is Black Village, you say? We're a tribe, building back the Black communities one block at a time. It takes a village.
Very nice. Very nice. I love
Yes,
it.
yes.
I love these feel good shows. I love people that are just doing stuff for other people all the time. Like I really do. We have some comments from the chat room in our YouTube channel, so let me go ahead and read some of them. Tina says these episodes are important to have. Aaliyah says, I love Toronto. And RJ Renee says, Chi-Town is in the building and they are doing their thing. And Rick says, $100,000. Let me quit my job right now.
Right. Come on down, Rick. We'll get you going.
So 2020, I mean, we all know it was a really rough year for a lot of us, especially the charitable organizations. I know a lot of them really suffered because who has extra to give at these times? But this is when it's the most important. So how did y'all manage to develop and plan and help others during such a difficult time? And what were the challenges with raising money and that kind of stuff? I want people to know how hard this work is.
So I think with just knowing who is who and just really doing the arm work and also just connecting. I partner with a young lady named Saba Abor, who's amazing. She can literally move the earth if she want to. That's how amazing she is. And she knows a lot of people who are wealthy enough to help, who's well off. And we just contacted some of her people, and by the grace of God, they were just like, yes, we love Tyranda. Yes, we would love to help.
So
and
she knows where the
also
money resides.
And also Fox donated as well. And they were just like, because I'm from the Fox family, of course, and they donated. And I think it's like a domino effect. So once one jump in, and then everybody will just be like, oh, okay, I get this is what happened. And it's not just, just a one-time thing. We're literally changing people's lives. So we not only just teamed up with Steve with the 160 grants, we also have other grants like the Madam CJ Walker grant. And just so we're clear, we named these grants after our ancestors who paved the way for people like myself. So the grant that Steve is sponsoring is the Rosa Parks grant. Now, we know Rosa Parks was known for sitting in front of the bus, so what better way to honor her than having the people drive the truck? The Madam CJ Walker grant, we know she was the first Black millionaire in cosmetology, so we're helping people get their certification to become a lash tech. My favorite is the Black Wall Street grant. We all know the story about Black Wall Street and how there were a bunch of Black entrepreneurs. So what we're doing, we teamed up with a company with real estate. And what they do is take a so many week course or so many month course, and they get their certification to learn how to flip, purchase, and buy homes. So these grants are not just here, but it's also to build entrepreneurship in the Black communities on the west and south side of Chicago.
I love that you all are trying to change. You said change lives, not just give someone something.
Yeah.
Huge difference. I mean, it's easy to just give someone some food or give them a job or a gig, but to give them these skills that's going to last them a lifetime, that's how you change the generation. That's how you change the whole trajectory of their whole life. So how many people are currently enrolled or are applying for these grants and programs? Is there a huge need? A lot of people?
Yeah. Right now, we have almost 300 applicants, but we can only choose 28, unfortunately. But once we get more sponsors on board, of course, we're going to keep these grants going. And that's the goal, to change as many lives as possible.
Okay. Steve, I want to go back. We touched upon it a little bit earlier, but how beneficial is it for young people to get this kind of training in such a growing field?
Yeah, well, fortunately, you can turn on the 7 o'clock news every day and see, horrific trucking incidents. And just last week in Dallas, the highways were frozen, 3 trucks plowed, 6 fatalities. I mean, it's not something that everyone can do. This is something that requires training, that requires certification, that requires licensing, and unfortunately, a lot of people don't take it as seriously as they should. So, our company is all about giving people safe training in 160 hours, being safe drivers. Safer the driver you are on the highway, the more money you're going to make. So, we're an advocate for all of our students nationwide. And even after they leave our program, we're in contact with them. We use a lot of technology to do that. To get somebody getting into the industry, be a safe driver. You got people in this career for 30 years. There's, like I said, 3 million truck drivers out there in the United States. And what's really interesting is like the majority of the industry in trucking is like an $800 billion industry. It's a really big industry. But the majority of the industry are made up of like entrepreneurs who own like 10 trucks or less. And so for individuals who get good at truck driving and they want to go buy their own truck and they hire their friends, and before you know it, they have 5 trucks and 10 trucks and 20 trucks. They just start a small business, and the entire industry is made up of entrepreneurs and small business people. So, it just fits for a lot of people. This is a great career, and it's an easy way to start. In 4 weeks, you get a commercial driver's license. And in 3 or 4 years, if you're really good at it, it's something you want to do, you can be your own entrepreneur and start your own business.
Steve is telling no lies. I have 3 friends here in Dallas that own their own trucking company. One has like 3 trucks, one has more than that. and they are doing extremely well. These are young Black folks in Dallas that started off with one truck. And I think one was telling me that bought one that was like a used truck and just built on that, and the turnaround, it is work, but you can really be your own boss and really have a quite successful business with this truck. I highly recommend it. We're gonna take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll be talking about the Black Village Foundation and how it's making a positive change in the community. We'll be back with more Out Loud Fox Soul when we return. Welcome back to Out Loud with your girl, Claudia Jordan. Now, if you want to see more Fox Soul content, subscribe to our YouTube channel and make sure you hit that notification bell to get all the best updates on the newest videos and live shows. And don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and tell us how you really feel right in that comment section. I am here with Toronto Jones and Steve Gold from the Black Village Foundation, which is helping Black people, well, actually helping people in the city of Chicago. So please support them as much as you can. Okay, now our parent company, the Fox Network, is also involved with the Black Village Foundation, which will be granting $35,000 across 28 grants in the month of February. What has the response been like from the applicants? I really want to know.
Oh my goodness, it's been crazy. I mean, you got some people who are really serious, and then you have some people who I think have no idea what's going on. I think they saw grant money, and they were just like, hey, how can I apply to get this money? And it's like, no, you got to work for this. You actually got to work for this money. So, but the response has been crazy. And I love the fact that a lot of people who are serious are super eager to just get out there and become their own boss.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was going to ask you again about the grant names, but you mentioned that earlier. And why was that so important for you to name the grants after, historical Black figures?
So of course it's Black History Month, and I wanted to, just do a replica, something special for Black History Month. But not only that, I think a lot of people misconstrue Black History Month with just being Black all year around. Now, I grew up in a household where my grandmother was just, and so were the neighbors. And we had a neighbor, Miss Simon, and she had the poem, Hey Black Child, on her front door. And you cannot enter her home without saying or reciting that poem. So just Black history was always just a big part of my life growing up. Mm-hmm. And as soon as I got the opportunity to do something for the community, I said, what better way to do it than to honor the people who paved the way for people like myself.
Well, that's nice. That's a nice nod. It's a nice nod to them, a nice, tribute. So
thank you.
Good. Now, Steve, now that you're putting your money where your mouth is and helping out the folks, do you think more businesses will donate to the cause after seeing your involvement? And can you get your rich friends, I know you have some, to come through?
Tell them, Claudia, tell them.
You know where the money resides, Steve Gold, okay?
I'm working the phones right now, Claudia. The calls are coming in. No, for sure. This is right. What Toronto started here is an awesome idea. And look, so many people need so much help right now. We will, we're always looking to get a lot of friends and family involved and all kinds of things. So for sure, I mean, this is super important. It's super important to the city of Chicago, to the community. So absolutely, we got everyone involved.
And if you need me to help guilt them into doing it or pressure them, I have no
100%.
I really have no limits. I really
Next
don't.
week, I'll get a whole gathering.
Guild them all.
Oh yeah, listen, I am shameless. I'll put the pressure on. If you're here for an extra, let me hold your phone for a couple of days. Joanne, I got you.
We're done. I'll do it.
Okay, Toronto, the theme of this project is an initiative to build Black wealth. Tell us how that became the focus of the program. How did that come about?
So Asaba, who's my partner, we were just sitting brainstorming on a bunch of stuff. And of course, breaking generational curses in Black families are the goal. It's always the goal. And what better way to name that? Build Black wealth. Now, I always say there's this trickle-down effect and this trickle-up effect. The trickle-down effect, in different families who got it, they can pass down to their children, and their children can pass down to their children's, versus the trickle-up effect. Families who, like, if I come from where I come from, if I'm successful, I have to give to my mother, and then I have to give to my grandmother, I have to give to my brother, I have to give to, so I'm putting money up rather than passing it down. And building Black wealth is basically the goal. So that's where that name came from.
I like that. And yeah, I mean, you want to help up, but it's sad that a lot of us don't have that extra money to pass down to our children, and our kids are starting at a disadvantage. It's been happening for just too long. Then combine that with the lack of ownership with real estate and all the unfair lending, and we could just go on and on about that stuff. So if someone's interested in applying for a grant or want to partner with the Black Village Foundation, how will they get involved?
So they can follow us on the social media platform, which is Black Village Foundation. And then our website is blackvillagefoundation.org.
Is there an interest to turn this and to make this an international thing or actually a national thing?
So right now we're strictly focusing on Chicago because it's not just something to do, because we're also doing like a science project. Mm-hmm. So we believe that if we provide jobs in disinvested communities, we believe that the crime rates will lower. We also believe that, it will be a total shift in these different neighborhoods. All the things that they say bad about Chicago, we believe that it will shift if we provide resources and provide jobs for the people who are having a hard time in those communities. So right now we're just strictly focusing on Chicago.
Okay, and Chicago definitely needs a help, so there's nothing wrong with that. I started off the show talking about how people like to dump on Chicago, and I want to take a moment with both of you. If you could just mention or say or just cite something positive about Chicago. Why do you love Chicago? Or just give me something about Chicago. Let Chicago have this moment to shine real quick. Let's shout out Chicago.
Listen, Chicago has its own swag. And one thing I love about Chicago is the people. Because when we come together, we come together. And not only that, we got amazing food, amazing scenery, and the people here are just different. If I ever want somebody to keep it a buck with me, I know it'll be a Chicagoan.
Yeah, look, I think Chicago, and I've been here all my life, right? It's super diverse. There's so much arts and food, as Toronto said. Not right now because the weather's a little cold, but in a few weeks from now, spring is perfect here. The beaches will be open, everyone will be out, and there's just so much to do in Chicago. It's a clean city. It's fun to go to. There's just always something going on. And not that other cities aren't great, but there's a reason why I've called it home for over 50 years. It's awesome. So I don't know. I'm not leaving anytime soon. My sister's left, but I'm staying here. I just called it home forever, and there's just so much to do here. Why would you ever want to leave?
I gotta say, a lot of people are, it's easy to write a check, and we definitely need those checks, but shout out to the people like you both that are actually boots on the ground, doing the work, rolling up your sleeves, side by side with the folks, like the people of Chicago. And that, I think that means a lot, your presence there, and they get to see your faces there. Toronto, before we let you go, let's talk TV real quick. You're currently appearing on the new ABC show, Call Your Mother. But we always love your role as Portia Taylor on Empire. The fans want to know, will there be an Empire spinoff or movie in the future? Spill it. Tell us.
I can't spill it.
Okay. Let me see your eyes. Blink twice.
Listen, so everything is kind of up in the air. With COVID going on, a lot of production is just like kind of scrambling and trying to figure things out. But I'm sure you saw the articles about this spinoff that's supposed to be happening. So we're waiting. But in the meantime, I am directing now. Okay. I started directing, and I'm doing something for BET Her. It's a BET initiative for awareness like breast cancer, mental health, and things like that. So I am having my big directorial debut coming in June.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're popping, girl. I adore you. I really do. I just love your vibe, your aura. I know it's going to do really well.
Thank you.
I want to say thank you for being open to what she's doing and partnering up like this. It's one thing to, like I said, write a check, but it seems like you're really in it and you're passionate about what you're doing. So I really want to say thank you for what you're doing for the people of Chicago. Yeah, no, we're totally excited about the program and very excited to partner with Toronto on this and with the city of Chicago. It's great.
We love you, Steve.
Love you too, Toronto. Good to see you. Claudia, I'm going to give you my Rolodex so you can start making calls. Listen, count me in. I got time. Yeah, okay. People, and I'm all for this. I love stuff like this. So I will harass your rich friends
And we'll get
I don't
started.
have a lot of
Listen, just
those,
fly to
but
Chicago, Claudia.
I don't
Just
have a
come
lot
and
of
fly to
those,
Chicago.
but right, sure.
Out there and harass them. I'll do it in person. So where can people look to donate or find out about the program before we let you go? I want people, listen, everybody that's watching right now, Fox. So listen, we're gonna take a break from stunting on the gram and posting purses and shoes and all that kind of stuff. Let's make this about other people for a little while. Let's sacrifice one little thing and make a donation, help out. There's people here who really need your help. And this program is helping you change people's lives. So where can folks find information to donate?
So you can follow all social media platforms, Black Village Foundation, and the website is blackvillagefoundation.org.
Okay, thank you very much. Oh, Steve, you want to add something?
Yeah, I was gonna say, or you can go direct to our website, the 160drivingacademy.com, and also you could, apply through there and say that if you're interested in the scholarship, we'll send that over to Toronto as well.
Thank you very much. All right, well, I want to thank Taronda Jones and Steve Gold, who's gonna hand over his Rolodex with his good friends, for joining me tonight. We're gonna take a quick break, but when we return, we'll be joined by 3 Black entrepreneurs who are giving back to the community. Stay tuned, you don't want to miss it. Best of luck to you too. I hope you make a whole bunch of money. Welcome back to Out Loud with your girl, Claudia Jordan. Now, my next guests are not only leaders in the worlds of music, fashion, and restaurants, but they're also utilizing their platform to give back to the Black community. Please welcome the founder of Harlem's Fashion Row, Brandon Danielle, the CEO of Brooklyn Chop House, Robert Cummings, and better known as Don Pooh, and the owner and CEO of Slutty Vegan ATL, Pinky Cole. Welcome to the show, beautiful Black people. Welcome, and thanks for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
I love these kind of shows. I just feel like the people in the comments, like they appreciate hearing from people like you that are giving back and helping out. I think we need this right now. So how's the Black History Month going so far?
Oh, great.
Black History Month, great. Black History Month is every day, 365 days a year for me.
Absolutely. And I agree.
Talk about it, but why do we have the shortest?
No,
I know, right?
It's crazy.
So we
Don, what were you?
I didn't. Yeah, so no, I was just saying Black History Month is every month, and yeah, you're right. We got 28 days, but we're gonna make the best of it.
Love it. I love it. I do love that. I know we have a month technically, but unfortunately, with all the tragic stuff that happened last summer, it was unfortunate. But I do feel like it did increase an awareness and with mainstream, the rest of the country. You know what I mean? Like not just amongst Black people, which was like kind of like a long time coming. Like finally, they're seeing some of our pain. I know we have a long way to go, but anyways, I want to just ask y'all about. Just let's get into it. Have y'all had more time to relax since the shutdown last spring, or have you been really busy on your end?
I have been going nonstop since the top of the pandemic.
Same.
Yeah. We since it happened, it gave us a chance to really, look at life and, really, pivot and change the way we were doing things. So we've been nonstop, just trying to give back and just support all of those that's been on the front lines and just, help in any way we can with whatever we had. So it's been nonstop.
I found that a lot of times when I ask a question about, has things slowed down for you, the pandemic, most people that come on have said that they just had to readjust and reinvent, and things have been even more busy during this time, just by being innovative and figuring it out.
Yeah, Claudia, for me, business has been like extremely amazing for me in the middle of a pandemic. So starting last year, I closed my business down for 2 weeks. And then after that 2 weeks, I saw a spike in business. I was able to open up 3 locations in the middle of a pandemic. So God is real good. And almost 3 years later, I still got lines down the block. So that just shows that my business is weatherproof. But I also do a lot for the community too. So all the money that I'm making, all the revenue that I'm bringing in, I'm also putting it back into the community and being a resource and using my platform to help people. And I think that has really helped me at Slutty Vegan. And I also think that this year and last year is the best time to be Black-owned business. Like a lot of people really don't know that, but like to be a Black-owned business right now, it's so many big corporations that's trying to pour in money to these small businesses, that's trying to stand in solidarity with these small businesses. So now is a time that like Don Pooh said, the pivot and like readjusting the business will work perfect for your business because there's so many people that are waiting in line to help.
It's too bad that it took what it took to get us here, but at the end of the day, take every single one of those guilty dollars that they finally come correct with, that they should have been doing. Like all of a sudden, they magically have space on the counters for Black cosmetics and Black products. Y'all could have been doing this, but we ain't gonna harp on that. We're gonna take that money and take those opportunities, right?
Take that coin with a smile. Give me my money.
Absolutely.
So our viewers out there may know about your business success, but I want them to know the real you. So we're gonna do a little round of questions called Out of Office. I'm gonna read a short list of things from you to choose from, and I'd like you to give me your favorite in each category. Y'all ready?
Ready.
Okay.
Let's go.
All right, now when we start traveling after quarantine, are you headed to a cabin in the woods, a secluded island in paradise, or a hotel penthouse with room service? Brandon, let's start with you.
Secluded island, absolutely.
Secluded island, okay. Don Pooh, what about you?
Oh, I'm heading to the islands. It might not be so secluded, but I'm gonna head to Barbados, my favorite island on the planet.
Okay, Pinky?
I'm going to the room that's in the cabin on a secluded island because I just need to relax after all of this and just take a nap. So I will definitely be on a secluded island with Brandis and Don Pooh.
Okay, so it's time to listen to some good hip hop music. Are you playing Kendrick Lamar, Drake, or Future? Don, let's start with you. Kendrick Lamar, Drake, or Future?
I gotta go with Drake, the diversity that he brings to the table. So I get a little bit of, each dimension when I listen to him. So I gotta go with Drake.
Okay. Pinky?
I'm with Drake. Drake is my style. Yeah.
Okay, Brandis, how about you?
I'm going with Kendrick Lamar.
Kendrick Lamar, okay.
Absolutely.
Right. Okay, you get a week off for vacation, but you can only choose one electronic device to take with you. I would go crazy. Okay, are you keeping your laptop, your phone, or your favorite device for streaming movies? So laptop, phone, or are you trying to stream movies?
Laptop.
Laptop, okay. Don?
My phone, because I could stream, I can look at the movies, and I can talk to people. So I'm going with the phone.
Okay.
I'm going with the phone too. Listen, when I wake up in the morning, my phone it's on my hip. So I need to check emails. I need to be on social. I need to make sure that my business is not falling apart. And at this point, you can get a T-Mobile phone that feels like a laptop. So I'm cell phone all day.
Can't remember how we used to get by when we had to have a beeper. Did y'all used to have beepers back in the day? And
Yep.
A pay phone and call
Yep.
and we would call you back.
Absolutely. I remember those days.
All right, so let's educate everyone on how y'all got to the top. Don Pooh, you spent years as a music executive working with artists like Diddy, Mary J. Blige, and Jay-Z, and you even discovered Foxy Brown. So what inspired you to become a restaurant owner after doing that kind of work?
So after being in the music business for about 15 years, I decided to diversify. I looked at my friends, most of them, Diddy, Jay-Z, Mary, and they basically, diversified into other industries. And I looked at them as an example and as a role model that as, they went into fashion, they went into spirits, they went into different industries. And I got an opportunity to do franchising through Papa John's Pizza. So I took that opportunity, developed about 7 locations, then sold those, then went on to do IHOP. We did a development deal in Brooklyn, New York. So we developed a few IHOPs in Brooklyn, New York. And then, it just, it was great because it gave me a chance to diversify my portfolio. And I was always big on, diversifying and, having different streams of income as a businessman, because I saw, a lot of the other entrepreneurs in the music business doing that. And I encourage that. And, I, want to inspire people to also diversify. So my diversification was in the hospitality industry, doing franchising and now owning my own brand, Brooklyn Chop House, and our sister company, Brooklyn Dumpling Shop, and branching out into frozen foods and different things of that sort.
So you're doing everything pretty much, discovering rappers and working with big stars and restaurants and a little bit of everything. Okay.
Yeah, and it's all synonymous with hospitality and entertainment. They're both synonymous, so they work well together.
Love it. Brandis, you started Harlem's Fashion Row in 2007. Why was it so important for you to promote designers of color? And did you see a huge lack of that?
Yeah, when I started to do research and realized that designers of color represented less than 1% of designers that were found in major department stores, and that we spent over $22 billion a year on apparel products, I had to do something. I wanted to be a solution. I kept trying to figure out what's my purpose and what's my calling in this industry. And as soon as I started Harlem's Fashion Row, I knew this was it. So it's been incredible. We started a nonprofit last year, Icon 360. And was able to raise $1 million last year to help designers of color. So it's been an incredible journey.
Can you repeat that for me? Did you say 22 billion we spend? And what was the revenue?
Over $22 billion a year on apparel.
And how are we represented? 1% of the designers?
Less than 1%. Yep. And the industry is shifting since last summer, but for the past probably, over a decade, it's been less than 1% of designers in major department stores have been designers of color. So we influence this industry heavily, but we haven't had any power traditionally in this industry.
I'll say it again. If Black folks we just really recognize and harness our buying power, we would make not only so many more of us millionaires, but we would be running this thing without buying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Huge in entertainment, fashion, beauty. All right. Pinky, your passion for making junk food healthier helped you develop Slutty Vegan ATL, and now your food has a pretty famous fan. Let's check it out.
Slutty Vegan ATL. This sloppy toppy right here. Bless ya.
Really enjoying that. She's making one, I guess so.
Jill Scott is the bomb.
I love Jill Scott. She's like everyone's fave. So how'd you come up with the concept and the name Slutty Vegan ATL? It's so catchy. I remember when I first heard it, I'm like, wait, what?
Slutty Vegan, I started this concept in 2018. And it's funny because I come from the TV world. I was a casting director for a show on the OWN network. And I literally came to Atlanta. I was only supposed to be here for about 3 weeks. I put all my stuff in storage. And when I was in Atlanta, I was hungry. And, I used to live in LA. So LA got vegan food options on every single corner. So when I was in Atlanta on the late night, I wanted some vegan comfort food and I couldn't figure it out. Now, me being like the ultimate visionary, I'm always coming up with an idea. So I was in my bedroom one day, it hit me like a light bulb. I'm like, Slutty Vegan. How can I merge the two most pleasurable experiences in life, and that's sex and food, and make it fun, make it racy, make it entertaining, while educating people, especially Black people, on how to eat better? So I tell this story all the time because when I tell you I did not expect my company to blow up like it did, I always knew that the universe had big plans for me, but I didn't expect this, right? So here we are, almost 3 years later. I have 4 locations. I'm on tour. Every celebrity that you can think of has naturally endorsed my brand, and I ain't never had to pay for no marketing. I just paid for a $1.4 million building, just purchased a secondary property, about to buy a third, opening up 7 more locations this year. I'm working on a cookbook. I'm working on so many things, but all of this really just stemmed from an idea to help people reimagine food. And I get to do that every single day. And the beauty of all of this is that when you come to my business and you see so many people standing in line, you realize that 97% of the people who patronize my business are African-American women. So that just shows you that there is an audience for people who are interested in veganism and bettering their lifestyle. And then my mission is not to make people go vegan, right? My mission is to really help people redefine the narrative of knowing that you can eat something that tastes good and it didn't have to come from the flesh of a dead animal. And I do it in a way where it's fun. So people come to Slutty Vegan, they have a good time, and then they're also learning about plant-based living at the same time. So I'm happy about that.
Slide in those sexy names like Sloppy Toppy. I love it. So we're gonna take a quick break, and we're gonna be back with more on how they're giving back. These folks are giving back to the community. Stick around. Welcome back to Out Loud. All right, let's get right back into it now. Don Pooh, your world-renowned Brooklyn Chop House switched to delivery and takeout last year, but you also gave food away to the frontline workers at hospitals, which is amazing. Kudos to you. How did you manage that adjustment?
Well, it was difficult. We didn't see this coming or expect it, and when it hit hard, it was just a shock to all of us. So we saw what the frontline workers especially were going through and risking their lives. I mean, we really didn't know too much about, this virus, and it was just attacking people. Everyone was getting sick, and then, everyone was scared to be around people that were getting sick, and everyone was scared to, go home to their families after working in the hospital. So we just decided to support all of the frontline workers in all of New York City. It just started out with the hospital, on our block, Presbyterian, was 1 block away. We just decided to send some meals to the emergency room because we know they were just getting crushed, and they were working, 24-hour shifts. It was just crazy. So we just decided to just send, after that, we decided we got such love and thanks from them. Like, oh my God, they're thinking about us, they're feeding us. And, we just wanted to take, away, for them not to even have to think about, cooking or where their meal was coming from. We just sent it. And then next thing you know, we just decided, you know what, let's send it to all the hospitals in New York City, Nassau County, the 5 boroughs. And, it went from, just a few hundred to over 8,000 meals that we gave out over, the course of a couple of months. And then our vendors saw what we were doing, and they said, hey, Boss Water, here. They started sending us cases to give out to all of the hospitals and around the city. And then also our vegetable purveyor was sending us vegetables. So all of our purveyors and all of our vendors, we thank you so much. They started to just donate product to us, and we just gave it away. And, it just made people's lives a lot easier and brought, smiles to their faces. And, they haven't forgot, but we didn't do it for that reason. We just did it to help people, because at the end of the day, it's the community, and, people were, facing tough times, and whatever they were going through, it just, made their life a little better that day.
8,000 meals. That is giving back. Kudos, brother. Brandon's New York fashion events and even the Met Gala was shut down last year. But you were able to feed hospital staff, and you received $1 million from the CFDA to donate to designers of color. Why was giving back such a priority to you, and how did that make you feel?
Yeah, I think at the top of the pandemic, most of our revenue was tied up in live events. And so we were really at a place where I was trying to figure out personally, like, what's my next move? What do I do next? And one of the things that always make me feel better is like, how do I give back? Anytime I think you give, it comes right back to you. And so I started like just an Instagram donation piece on my asking people for money to feed the nurses and doctors at the hospital that's right down the street from me in Brooklyn. And we were able to send them meals for about 2 weeks. And then I decided that I would start a nonprofit for designers in the middle of a pandemic, because so many of them were suffering at the time and trying to figure out, how they were going to make it. And designers of color are already so underrepresented in fashion. I didn't want to come out this pandemic and the designers who were already here would be gone because they couldn't afford to stay in this industry. So I'm so grateful that we were able to give out awards to 33 designers last year to really help them sustain their businesses and keep moving forward.
brand, and there's a queen who thinks you're doing a great job. Let's take a look.
Pinky Cole, you help bringing veganism to the culture. You're changing the game as a Black small business owner, and you're sending kids to college with the Pinky Cole Foundation. Pinky, you are an equalizer in your community, and I love you for it.
Y'all got all the good clips. Oh, thank you. Applause.
Great endorsement. So tell us about the Pinky Cole Foundation and your partnership with Steve Harvey's Foundation.
So I started the Pinky Cole Foundation as really a way to formalize me just giving all my money away because I like to help people. And I've always been like that since I've been a kid. I saw my mom helping everybody. So I just knew that putting a foundation together in place would be the perfect way to continue to do what I love. So when I created the foundation, I knew that I wanted to build a bridge and, generational wealth was important for me. So since I had that foundation, I've done so much. So the Department of Juvenile Justice, Rashard Brooks, I partnered with a local business to provide scholarships for the family, a brand new car, life insurance. I partner with Impossible Foods and Jermaine Dupree, voters registration drive, and we helped turn Georgia blue. Also the Steve Harvey Foundation and the Marjorie Harvey Foundation, and making sure that families in Atlanta had gas, had lights, right? And a lot of the things that I do is it really speaks to who I am. Like, for example, just making sure that people have access to resources and information. Oftentimes we talk about how we don't have the information and we don't have the access. So I want to make sure that I can use my platform to do that. And through the foundation, everything is self-funded. One of the things that I'm working on now is a life insurance program where another local business, Big Dave's Cheesesteaks, and we're getting every single Black man in Atlanta life insurance if they make $30,000 or less. So I'm a socially responsible business. I have a socially responsible organization, and it's important for me. I told God, I said, God, you give me this one opportunity to really be able to utilize my platform for good. I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna run with it, and that's what I've been doing. I got some big things in the work with my foundation, so please be on the lookout. And I'm just excited about the great things I have in store for that.
I love it.
Wow, you all three of you, not only successful in your own right, but success as a human being by doing all this work for others. We're gonna take our last break, and we'll be back with more Out Loud and Talk Soul when we return. Oh, okay. Now, I don't want to call out any famous folks, but we have a lot of Black folks, hip hop artists, actors, models, athletes who make millions of dollars, and they sit around doing nothing. So how can we encourage those Black folks to get up their butts and give back?
I'll go first. Utilize your platform. It costs nothing, right? One of the things that I've been able to do is utilize the platforms of celebrities to be able to extend the narrative, infuse it in the music, infuse it in the culture. I know oftentimes like you said, there are a lot of celebrities that make a lot of money that are not proactive in their efforts. Now, I'm not saying that every celebrity got to turn into a politician, because that's just not realistic. Everybody's not cut out for that. But if you have a big platform and there's a message that you can use on your platform to extend to people who need to hear it, especially if it's a core audience, especially if it's Black people that need to hear it, utilize that platform for good and make it make sense. That social currency is worth more than any dollar that you'll ever be able to make. And a social currency can really help impact change. And I'll give you a perfect example of somebody who does it very well. Beyonce and Jay-Z, they do a great job at utilizing their platform when it's necessary to use it. They say something and it goes, right? And I think that as long as more celebrities do that, in an impactful and positive way, then we could see a lot of shifting in the atmosphere when it comes to our people and the decisions we make as a people.
You know what? You said it all. We only have a couple minutes, like a minute left. Brandis and Dawn, if you can squeeze something in at the last.
Yeah. Okay. I like to say I like to see more celebrities and athletes pulling together. So like Pinky said, that social currency, there's nothing like it. And when you pull your resources together, well, whether it's the social currency or your platform, because there's millions of people watching and inspired by them. So just watching them giving back and pulling their resources together to do it all maybe at the same time with different events and groups, I think there's nothing more powerful or more impactful of an image as seeing everyone getting together and giving back as one.
And mine is simple: wear and support Black designers.
Perfect. Well, I encourage everyone to please support these folks. They're doing their thing. That was so much fun. I want to thank Brandis, Don, Pinky, Taronda, and Steve for being here tonight. Thank you for watching us on the Fox Soul TV mobile app.